When the topic of mountain bike destinations come up, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania probably isn't the first place that comes to mind. But that's exactly where I'm headed. You see, right now, in the Northeast, it's what we call wicked cold. So we have a few options. We can either hibernate, bundle up, or go indoors. Today, I'm choosing the latter, which is why I'm headed to the Wheel Mill. It's an old industrial building converted into a bike park. It's somewhat hard to describe what this place really is. It lies somewhere in between a skate park and mountain bike trails. The 80,000 square foot building has 2 levels and is divided up into 8 rooms. But when you first get on a bike, it's kind of overwhelming. It's easy to get lost in the network of trails that weave through the building and connect the various rooms. Each of these rooms has a unique theme to it. Some of these rooms have a mountain bike theme to them, and others have more of a skate park theme. But often, you'll notice that both of these themes merge to create a truly unique experience. And every single one of these areas has a plethora of different line options, so it's pretty easy to spend a lot of time in one area without getting bored. Though most of our time was spent in one of a few rooms, the first being the Pumptrack room. The Pumptrack is located towards the back of the building. Every time I've been to the Wheel Mill, the Pumptrack has never been very crowded, so a lot of riders find this to be an ideal place to get warmed up. Builders did an incredible job making a small Pumptrack so fun, and you can definitely tell it was built by BMXers. On the surface, it looks like there's one single line option, but after you spend a little time there, you'll notice there's actually quite a few transfers in different line options. I did find the rollers here to be a little tight. It would probably work a little bit better on a BMX bike, but after a few laps, it started to flow a lot better once we got the hang of things. Right besides the Pumptrack is, well, another Pumptrack. This one though is just a series of big rollers. However, that doesn't mean you can't have fun with them and catch a little air. In the center of that Pumptrack is a little skills section. I didn't spend much time here, but this would be a good place to go practice some of your basic bike handling skills. From balancing, drops, to technical trail features, there were a lot of little features that beginner riders can find to enjoy. But for the veteran riders, this section probably won't be holding their attention for very long. Down the hall, there was another room which featured, well, some more advanced features. On a dirt jumper with a single gear, this room was kind of awkward.
Oh god, I'm totally not skating.
But this room was built with the intention of trying to mimic a mountain bike trail. This is a room where I saw a lot more riders with full suspension bikes spending their time. One of the coolest things about this area was a skinny above a foam pit. For riders like me who are absolutely terrified of skinnies, it was a good place to practice.
Oh holy crap, I made that.
Oh yeah, did I mention this place is wheelchair accessible? That dude was hitting some of the features in the big room, which I'll feature later. It was definitely the most mind-blowing and inspiring thing I saw all day. Unfortunately, I didn't get any video of him shredding, but it was pretty badass. The second floor of the Wheel Mill, I believe, used to be an old bike polo court, and has since been turned into a beginner skills area. It's tucked away out of sight, so if you're uncomfortable trying to learn new skills in front of people, well, this is a good place to go where you won't be judged. Around the outside of the bike polo court was the cross-country loop, which has a bunch of berms, rollers, and tabletops. And this loop will eventually bring you back downstairs to where you started.
Brakes. So this could be really interesting.
One of the other places I spent a lot of time at the Wheel Mill was the Resi ramp. If you're a mountain biker who's never spent much time in a skate park, you're probably scratching your head wondering what the heck is a Resi ramp. A Resi ramp is a jump with a soft landing. It's a piece of foam covered with a sheet of very slippery plastic. It's about as slippery as wet roots. Resi ramps are ideal for learning new tricks. The foam covered with plastic makes for a more comfortable landing compared to, say, concrete or wood. This gives you a little bit more confidence and inspires you to try tricks you might not try otherwise. In the same room, you also have the foam pit. It's essentially a box filled with foam. This is where riders go to learn tricks that have high consequences, such as backflips and front flips. Tucked away in the far back of the Wheel Mill is a little skate park. It has a few quarters, box jumps, and some spines. When the Wheel Mill gets super busy, this place is a good place to go hang out, because a lot of visitors kind of forget it's there, or don't even know about it. There's also a mini ramp hidden in plain sight. It's the first room you come to, but I tend to forget it's there. The place that we spent the most time, however, was the rhythm room. This is where most veteran riders will be spending their time. It's a room filled with a bunch of jumps that vary in size and length. I spent about 70% of my time at the wheel mill in this particular room. There are so many different transfers and line options that even the guys who ride this every day are still coming up with new lines to ride. Luckily for us, the locals here were more than happy to show us some of the lines and give us the grand tour.
Okay.
Though because the takeoff and landings are so steep, it took me a solid hour of riding to figure out the flow of the room. It was only after I got comfortable with the room that I started getting a little bit more daring in riding the room to its full potential. I could spend hours in this room and not get bored, which is exactly what we did, because before we knew it, it was already 10 o'clock. Going to the wheel mill is always a good time. I highly recommend checking it out if you happen to be in the area or are looking for a new place to go ride and stay warm. I should add, it's not the only bike park of its kind, but what they're doing is really cool and everybody there is super friendly. Chances are you'll leave with some new friends and even better stories. So if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comment section below and smash that like button while you're at it. As always, my name is Phil Metz. Thanks for playing bikes with me today, and I'll see you next time.